Once upon a time, there was a porcupine named Mr. Needlebum. And Mr. Needlebum decided that he wanted to live in a house. My house. So he tried to break in once. Yes, this actually happened. Make sure to keep watching. So about 3 months ago, we had a porcupine come into our yard and start eating clover. And so we called him Mr. Needlebum for obvious reasons. And after a couple weeks, he got really, really comfortable around us, and we were able to get super, super close to him. But, as it always does, Mr. Needlebum got a little bit too people-friendly. Then, around October, we went to the apple orchard and picked a whole bunch of apples. And we put those apples on our non-finished porch that was not closed in. And then, one night, our dog started barking. So we went out onto the porch, and right beside me was, you guessed it, Mr. Needlebum, eating our apples. For about 3 nights, he was stealing apples and just yummy. But the funny thing is that he would not eat the cores of the apples. He would leave those all over the porch, which our dog ended up eating. So after a while, we were like, we paid for these apples, so this porcupine should not be eating them. So we took them away, and we left him a pear instead, and he ate that too. And we're like, oh, okay, he's not going to go away. So we took everything off the porch, so you couldn't get into them. And about 2 days later, we hear this scratching on the door. And you guessed it, Mr. Needlebum was scratching on the door, trying to get into the house. He did this for, I think, about 3 days, trying to get into the house. It was really, really funny, because he would be nose to nose with our dog, Kisa, and the only thing in between them was glass. And actually, one time while he was eating an apple, I reached out and I touched him on the claw, and he just kept going. And I would not recommend touching a porcupine, because after that I was like, well, I'm going to try touching him on the tail. And so I did, and it was actually pretty cool, because the nerve reflexes on a porcupine, when his quills get touched, the quills jump up, and it actually pricked me. I did not get stuck by them, but it is a very pleasant but unpleasant reminder that you need to be very careful around these animals. So he was getting a little bit too tame for comfort. So, we took off all the food and everything. And then, of course, he started trying to get into the house. So we had to make sure that when we went to let in the cat, it was actually the cat and not the porcupine, because we didn't want to let the porcupine in the house. And then about a week later, I was getting ready to go to bed. And I was upstairs, and I hear this clattering all over the roof. I was like, what on earth is that noise? I was like, oh, it must be the cat. And then I look over, and the cat is on one of the beds. So it wasn't the cat. So me and my sister went outside, and we had a flashlight. We were looking on the roof and everything, trying to figure out what it was. And there, you guessed it, stood Mr. Needlebum, walking all around the roof. So he eventually came down, got onto our wood pile, and then walked off. He went out one opening on the porch, walked around, and then came in through the door on the porch. And yeah, it was getting really, really interesting. So yeah, and after that, he didn't really mess around with the porch too much. And so he wasn't really climbing on the roof anymore. There wasn't any apples for him to eat. So he kind of left our house alone and just went back to eating clover. And something that was really funny is about a week later, we had another porcupine come onto the property and start eating clover as well. And one night I woke up to this really, really weird noise, like this screeching noise. What is that? And I thought that there was this bug under my bed, and I was searching under my bed trying to figure out what it was, and then I realized it was coming from outside. So I went outside, and this is at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I went outside, and you guessed it, the two porcupines were yelling at each other. It was just this weird noise you would never think a porcupine in a million years would make. But, yeah, so Mr. Needlebum and his friend, which is, I'm trying to remember what his name is. Oh, and his friend, Mr. Scaredybutt, that's what it was. Because the other porcupine was really scared of us because he wasn't that tame. But anyway, so Mr. Needlebum and Mr. Scaredybutt have been eating our clover happily and have left our apples alone and have left our roof alone. And once the snow starts coming in and winter starts happening, they're going to be going off. And porcupines actually don't hibernate, but they live in like hollowed out logs and in kind of like caves and like rocks. And yeah, that's where they'll spend most of the winter. And they'll eat a little bit, but they mostly put on a lot of fat before winter so that they can make their way through. So yeah, it was a really, really cool experience. Had a lot of fun with Mr. Needlebum and Mr. Scaredybutt. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.